Hi folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Well, folks, welcome to Treasure Talk.
Indeed, indeed.
Another exciting show, and the rain has just stopped, and so I can hear myself think. So, Jeff, I'm going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right, friends, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guests and Treasure Talk members belong solely to the member and guest only, and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Jeff Mona, or Myers Metal Detectors. And the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and educate our members in a fun, informative manner.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And let's hope that we do that.
Absolutely. And Jeff, if you don't mind, let me show one of the benefits of Treasure Talk is we get to talk to the manufacturers and ask them about different products. And we had mentioned a handle with Anderson detector shafts and saying that I wanted something a little bigger than the Modus, which is a plastic handle. This is a aluminum grade handle, and this is going to be in production real soon with Anderson. Actually,
Show the bottom of it, Phil. It's a little offset too, isn't it?
Yes, it's offset, so it fits the handle perfect. This one is made for the carbon fiber handle. I imagine I'll have to test it. It'll fit on the aluminum handles also. And it's just got two stainless screws in it, so it's real fast to put on. There's other products. There's a Raptor handle, which is a nice big handle made out of plastic, but it's got 6 screws on it. And to me, this is just a really cool product. Lightweight, but it's strong because it's, I think it's airplane aluminum. All of Anderson stuff is strong. So that's a cool product, and that's from talking with the manufacturer. So,
and it's offset a little bit too, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean, angled a little bit where it goes on the handle, so it gives you a little different kind of grip.
Yes, it does. It really does. And I've got big hands, so the Modus handle was nice, but this is going to be even nicer. So that's what happens when you talk with the manufacturer, and that's one of the benefits of us doing this show here. We get to tell the manufacturers what we want.
So we tell them too.
Pardon me?
We tell them too.
Yes,
they don't know what they heard, but
and often they listen to us. It's amazing.
I know.
Listen to the consumer. Absolutely.
Well, we've got so many people now that tune in and are members. I think I've added. I don't know how many members you've added this week. I think I've added about 250.
So we must be up close to 3,000 on Facebook or close.
Yeah, and we're getting 100 plus people on YouTube every week. So we're getting there.
Oh, geez. So yeah, people will listen to us when we ask them about different things. So that's awesome. And hats off to Anderson for doing that. So we got an exciting show today too, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do indeed. Now, everybody, you've all seen a couple times this young man has been with us with the blu3 Nemo. And I want to tell you what, the blu3 Nemo has exploded. There are just a lot of people that are using it. The ring finders, a lot of those people use it. There's a number of other people that use it, and Phil stocks them. He's a dealer for blu3. And remember the last time Blake was on, we were talking about a little bit about the Nomad, which is the next step, because a lot of people were going, I want to go deeper. I want to go deeper. Guess what? You can go deeper now. It's here. It's in production. You'll find all about it tonight. So stay tuned. And it's going to be a really, really good educational show for you. And Blake will tell you whatever he can about it. And I hope you learn, and I hope you buy one, because Phil had them in stock. Better yet, buy 2. So let's go ahead and let's bring Blake on, shall we? Hello, Mr. Blake.
Hey.
Welcome.
How's it going, guys?
No, it's going great. And the Blue Nemo is a popular item in the treasure hunting world. I think I sold one last week, and the gentleman wasn't for metal detecting, believe it or not. It was for digging fossils. He, in the past just snorkeled and would hold his breath. And he's a young guy, and he says, I don't want to go real deep. I just want to be 10 feet deep or less. And I want to be able to stay there and fan the side wall of the river. And he said the Blue Nemo was perfect for that.
It is perfect for that. I've actually gotten a chance to go out with some of the guys there on the West Coast in Peace River, and they took me and kind of showed me the ropes in Peace River. And I mean, finding shark's teeth is pretty awesome. And not only shark's teeth, all kinds of different stuff just from millions of years ago. And half of the stuff I didn't really know what it is, but they were really educated on it. And dolphin jaw and stuff like that. That's a pretty awesome use for Nemo. I have a lot of fun doing that.
As long as the shark's teeth are not in the shark.
Yes.
Let's get that out there, shall we?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the gentleman in our club, our metal detecting club, Rich Tumbleson. He did a presentation last month, and he was on the Peace River doing that, and he had brought a bunch of the fossils that he had dug, and it was very interesting what comes out of the Peace River. He had some darn it, now I forgot the name of it. It'll have to come back to me later.
Mastodon or
it wasn't the mastodon.
Megalodon.
Find those, but it was the manatee.
Megalodon.
The manatee, prehistoric manatee. You there, Jeff? Do you need to cut in, buddy?
Well, I thought that a lot of people there find the megalodon tooth.
Oh yes, the megalodons too. But
yeah.
The prehistoric manatee bones, he was actually given away as a sample so I got a couple for my kids, or grandkids rather. But anyway, let's get started with the program here, and we've got a load of questions that I'm sure more people are going to be sending more in. So let's start with number one. Tell us how the Nomad is different than the Blue Nemo.
Yeah, so I mean, the feedback on Nemo has been incredible. It's really been everything we were hoping for. People are saying things along the lines of, wow, this is so compact and easy to use. I can take it anywhere. It does the job for me. All I need to do is get to 7 feet. And it's the most convenient way to make that happen for me. Those are all of the things that we designed Nemo for. But at the same time, we do have a lot of people saying, wow, this is so amazing. I just wish I could go a little bit deeper. And this is something, we knew when we started the company, we wanted to reach that 30-foot mark. But we really kind of took a step back and focused on our core technology to really emphasize all of the benefits that could bring in terms of user friendliness, portability, those sort of things. And so when we started with Nemo, because we design and build all of our compressors in-house using some really unique and novel technology. So we needed to work on first that compressor architecture and scale that up to 10 feet and really, just take advantage of those benefits and make the world's smallest dive system. So that's what Nemo is. But then right when we got Nemo out, we started working on, okay, how do we take this and deliver higher pressure, higher flow so that we can support those people who are more experienced divers who want to go a little deeper. Like for me, Nomad is my dream product because I've always loved diving in that 20, 25 foot range. It's a lot of fun. It gives you a lot of different options, but it's still a relaxed kind of convenient way to dive. So with Nomad, we really did have to start from scratch on the compressor. We tried going straight from Nemo and building that out to a higher pressure and higher flow rate to accommodate 30 feet. But we found some limitations. So we had to go right back to the drawing board and start from scratch. And what we've come up to is really a better design altogether. So we're really excited about that in terms of manufacturability, and then size and everything. So yeah, the primary change from Nemo to Nomad is the increased depth. So you can go to 30 feet and runtime is about 45 minutes to an hour. Again, it depends how deep you're diving and what your activity level is like. But for a diver who gets 90 minutes on a Nemo, you'll get about 60 minutes at 20 to 30 feet on a Nomad for that same activity level. So that's the core difference. And then there are some changes kind of in the shape and how the user manages. So like we've added hose wrapping storage around there with some bungees, because with now 40 feet of hose, that becomes a concern, is how does the user store the hose to keep it really nice and integrated and user-friendly. And then a brand new battery design as well. So lots of different things, but ultimately it's to get you from 10 to 30 feet.
Okay, and what about for the person who is mostly going to go 10 feet? Would they be better to buy the Nomad just to be able to go deeper if they wanted to, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think if you're looking to stay within that 10-foot range, then Nemo is really the best product for you, because it is still smaller, it's lighter, the batteries are half the size, and it's obviously the more affordable option compared to Nomad. If you're looking to go deeper than 10 feet, primarily, then Nomad is going to be a better option. But you know, it really just depends on what you're doing. If you're traveling a lot, then Nemo may suit you better. It is smaller, but if you're looking to dive that 20, 30-foot range, Nomad's the product.
Right. Or
we got a couple questions off of YouTube. Number one from the Teching Show with Johnny O wants to know, how do you know when the battery is running down? And the other one was, well, let me go find it. How is the noise level? Is it about the same as the Nemo?
Yeah, okay. So as far as the battery, this is going to be a new kind of behavior that we're introducing. And what we're doing is basically inside of the software for the unit, it knows when the battery is getting low. And what it does is controls the pumping of the unit so that you'll feel a slight pulsation when the battery is getting low, and that pulsation will become more frequent as the battery gets closer and closer to running out. So what that will feel like is just a small blip in between your breaths. And that's really going to be the most direct way. So a lot of people ask us, you know, well, what about putting an LED on the regulator or a sound alarm or something like that? We found that those can get kind of saturated. You know, maybe you don't see the LED, or maybe, you know, there's other noises that you kind of just don't hear. Or so what we found the most direct way of doing that is to add a little bit of a sensation in the regulator.
Okay, yeah, that's a cool way.
And the noise level's about the same?
The noise level, yeah, it is about the same as Nemo. It's got a slightly different tone to it, I think. But yeah, similar, always only running when you inhale, and then when you exhale, you're just hearing bubbles.
Okay, and the salt air, how does that affect it over time, the compressor?
Oh, so yeah, everything that's not, you know, made from silicone or plastic that's interacting with salt water is made from stainless steel, and so everything, you know, what's pretty unique about our compressor actually is it can completely ingest salt water, and it can actually pump salt water through without damage.
Okay.
You know, it can't pump sand, so you want to make sure not to get sand or any debris like that in the intake. But most compressors would just fail immediately if you got salt water ingested. So this, you would want to rinse it out with fresh water just to clear it out. But yeah, it's totally you know, resilient to that.
Now, I had one other question. The guy has used a hookah, but it was a gas hookah. And he said he kept like tasting gas. And I told him I thought it was from the fumes, you know, from the engine running, that the air thing sucks them in. And you don't have that problem with the Nemo or the Nomad, do you?
No, and really with the gasoline powered systems, the good systems will have a very tall intake snorkel on them, and what that does is get it away from the gas engine. And so like you would always need to use it in an open environment with plenty of airflow. Like you wouldn't want to put the gas compressor like on your boat with like walls around it, because it needs to have airflow to pass it by. But that's why those intakes are so tall, is to get it away from the gas fumes. But you're right. So the gas engine is what's giving the fumes off there. And so with us, it's battery powered strictly, and so you don't have any fumes.
Yeah, that's a cool feature. No fumes, nothing like that. And it sounds to me like if you're wanting to go occasionally deeper, you probably should have both the Blue Nemo and the Nomad, right, Blake?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I would do, especially for, first time divers. I think, sure, you could get the Nomad and only dive to 10 feet, but one of the parts of becoming an experienced diver is learning how to manage your depth, learning how to properly weight yourself and stay. So you need to, starting with Nemo, you are physically limited to 10 feet, which is kind of nice. It's kind of a comfort thing for a lot of people. And then, once you're ready for Nomad, you'll have the extra hose length and you can start working yourself deeper. But definitely Nemo in the pool is a lot of fun. I like, there's a lot of different uses for that.
Yes.
Here's the thing though, I may be wrong, but you could, as far as affordability, you could buy a Nomad and a Nemo for probably less money than you could buy a full scuba kit for. Plus, you don't have to continue to refill the tanks. You just charge the batteries. Am I wrong in that?
No, I mean, yeah, sure. It depends on what kind of scuba gear you're looking at. I think tank refills are something that definitely have to be accounted for. It's really just the convenience. It's how much value do you want to get out of your free time? Do you want to spend it, worrying about setting up your scuba gear and filling your tanks and making sure every last, all of the details and complexities that come with scuba diving, lugging around 40 pounds of weight. With Nomad, or Nemo, I'm still blown away because I scuba dive as well, but I'm still just blown away whenever I use our products, because I'm just like, it feels too simple.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about it. Hey, I want to read this one comment on Facebook from a friend of the show, Sean Rosh. He said, I had a ring recovery that made it on the news this morning using the Nemo. So he went out and found somebody's ring for him that they lost. A tourist, to me, that's just the ultimate thing to help somebody out. He said, I can't say enough good things about it. It's such an awesome tool for those deeper recoveries.
That's awesome. Do you know where that is?
I think he's down in Sarasota somewhere, south of us.
So Florida. That's awesome.
Yeah, he does it all the time. He does ring recoveries.
Something else, and back to fossil hunting, actually, something else that was on the news recently and a lot all over social media is someone who was diving for shark's teeth, and he was actually free diving, but he dove down and he actually got hit by a gator. A gator got him on the head.
I saw that. Almost scalped him.
Yeah, and a friend of one of the Blue Nemo divers who goes in the Peace River and shark tooth diving a lot, he actually was on the team trying to help and find his GoPro. Eventually they did find his GoPro, and they have the footage of when he got hit on Instagram. It's SHRKCO is the guy, the free diver who got attacked. It's a pretty amazing story. It's a miracle that he's alive, but I guess think twice about diving in those rivers while it's mating season for the gators.
Absolutely. But back to the fossils. It was a dugong rib bone from the manatee. Rick Tumbleson sent that message to my wife, and she handed it to me. Hey, getting back to the Blue Nemo, this question comes up a lot. I know the answer, but I'll let you answer it, Blake. What else is needed to outfit yourself while using the Blue Nemo? And that's from Tom Becker.
What else is needed? So the first thing you really need is mask and fins. And there's no specific mask and fins that are perfect for everybody. It's really something you're best suited if you can get into a dive shop where they can help you find the right gear to fit your body or your face. Also with that, you may like to start without the weight belt, but as you get into it, you get comfortable, depending on your skill level, you're going to want to add the weight belt to be able to find neutral buoyancy. You'll also want to snorkel. So the snorkel is really convenient if you're swimming offshore. If you run the battery out, it's good to have a snorkel to be able to breathe, on the surface as you swim back. All of this stuff's actually covered in the Nemo training course, which is available free. You don't need to buy the product to even use it. So it's a really thorough course that takes you through all of the basics of diving, exactly that question, what other gear will I need? It has video tutorials towards the end that show you how to use the Nemo and the different skills that you'll learn. So like how to ditch your harness. Let's say if you get tangled up on something, you'll need to know how to get rid of your harness. All those sorts of things. So I would encourage everybody to go to diveblu.teachable.com and actually just run through the training course and see if you think diving is a good fit for you. So I think, that's the best way to get started. And it shows you the skills that you can get in the pool and practice yourself. And then, if you're not feeling comfortable, definitely find an instructor or trainer or an experienced diver to help you out.
Absolutely. And I know because I've taken that course and it's very thorough and it's pretty easy to do. It takes a little bit of time, but I think what's an hour or two to finish it. I took mine in different sections, but
yeah, most people break it up, and which makes it, I think, feel like a shorter period of time, but you probably retain the knowledge a little bit better. And yeah, it really depends on your prior skill level. So if you're fresh, it may take a couple hours, but if you're somebody who's scuba certified, you may get through it in 45 minutes or an hour, because a lot of the knowledge and stuff is the same. So.
Yeah. Now, Blake, for the Nomad, you have a totally different course then for that, correct?
So what we're going to do actually is combine the course. So it's no longer going to be the Nemo online dive training course. It's going to be the Blue online dive training course because a lot of the materials are similar. There are some differences when it comes to specifications, and for example, like setup of the unit and things like that. So we'll be releasing that. It'll have a few new videos in there and things like that. But yeah, excited to get that out. One other thing is showing the use of the spare air. So this is a redundancy air tank. Diving to 30 feet, it's definitely even more critical, or really just a good idea to have some backup air supply. This is something that's common in hookah diving. And so we'll show you how to swap to that, and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So on the Nomad, when will we be able to have that in stock in the store? Because I know you're making them now, right?
We're not in production yet. No. We're building some prototypes. So we've actually just recently gotten our first molded part samples. So this is what they consider a T1 trial run of the molded parts. And so like all of our first parts are coming in. We've built out the first beta units, and yeah, everything's really going smooth with that. So everything's approved, and everything's being all of our parts suppliers are getting their parts over to us. So we're looking at September, the first shipments going out, because we're starting with a gradual production ramp up to not overburden anything. And then over the course of September, October, November, we'll be growing and growing. So you should be getting your first units in September or October.
Oh, okay. And the batteries or the backpack, will that one come with a backpack like the Blue Nemo?
Yeah, we've actually redesigned the backpack, and really the primary change is that it's just a little bit taller. And so now the backpack will be able to fit Nomad, but it'll also still be able to fit Nemo.
Oh, okay. So use the same backpack. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, how about the weight wise? You said it's a little bigger, so that means it's a little heavier.
Yeah. There's some trade-offs. So it's about 15 pounds, whereas Nemo is about 10 pounds, and then the base dimensions of it are a little bit larger. But with Nemo, you have that flotation tube that you blow up and attach. So we've kind of eliminated that from the setup. And so it's made out of a roto-molded hard shell, kind of like a Yeti cooler is. It's a roto-molded with foam filled. And so what you see at that blue shell is actually plenty of buoyancy to float it in the ocean. And so that size dimensionally is actually kind of smaller of a footprint than Nemo is with the flotation tube attached. But it's ready to go, so you don't have to attach the flotation tube. We are also providing a dry bag float with that. So this is a kind of dry bag where you can store
The battery.
items inside, and then you roll it up and tighten it, and it inflates. So it actually gives you 40 pounds of buoyancy, but also some extra visibility, because that's something that's really nice about the flotation tube with Nemo. If you're in an area where there's boating traffic,
Yes.
that sends a lot better of a signal than just a dive flag would. And so that piece is kind of an accessory, and you would attach that onto the hose just in front of the unit.
Awesome. Jeff, did you have something on YouTube there, buddy?
No, most of the questions on YouTube, I know we're on the list to ask, and they'll get answered, folks. Just be patient.
All righty. Hey, I just had one come through from Bob Beaver, and he's asking, have you considered making a unit that can support 2 divers?
Yeah. And so actually with our sister company, Brownie's Third Lung, we've got, 50 years of experience in this industry actually. And we started Blue as a new company to kind of take a different perspective on the product and just to worry about making it as absolutely user-friendly as possible. So that's kind of why we started with Nemo, is just making it as small and easy to use as possible. But when you look at the Brownie side, we do have a battery-powered system we call the Sea Lion. This uses a different technology, but that'll support 3 divers to 30 feet, or and that'll run for actually 3 hours. But it is quite big and not quite as user-friendly as Nemo and Nomad. But the performance is awesome. If you're going out in a boat with friends and you want to dive all day, I mean, bringing that instead of bringing 9 scuba tanks is amazing. So those are kind of the 2 different ends of the spectrum that we're working with, and the engineering team, myself and the other engineers at Blue, we all work on the Sea Lion and those products as well. So we've got experience with that. And so over the next couple of years, we will be kind of closing that gap to fill in. But it's going to be a little ways down the road. So, but at the same time, using 2 new Nomads side by side is pretty nice, because you have each diver handling their own gear. And then, yeah, you can charge your own batteries. It's you both show up with your own Nomad, I guess. And but I think there's a market for a 2 diver system down the road.
Yeah, and now I guess if each person had their own unit, of course, it's always better, I imagine, to dive with 2 people for safety-wise. And speaking of that, Sean has asked, is the Nomad big enough to use as a flotation device?
So that's going to be the dry bag float, and that's why we're excited to bring that out. Nemo's flotation tube actually supports 22 pounds of buoyancy, which is the minimum requirement for a Type 1 PFD, personal flotation device, a life jacket. And then, so the dry bag float that's going to be as an accessory item to Nomad provides 40 pounds of buoyancy. So it's significantly more buoyancy. And then it also, it works a little bit better for the Nomad architecture. It's also a dry bag at the same time. So it's pretty nice.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, folks, we do have the Blue Nemos in stock with 2 batteries in the backpack, and that is an awesome system. That seems to be the most popular one in the Blue Nemo line, with that backpack and the extra battery. So,
for sure, yeah. While you're out there, you don't want to get cut off. You want to keep diving. So,
absolutely. And just also a reminder, if I don't, I'm going to cut right in here. Someone on Facebook told me, can you mention the West State Archaeological Society's meeting is Friday night? Yes, it is. That's here in Tampa. That's the Tampa Bay Metal Detecting Club. And that meets Friday night at the Seminole Heights American Legion, Post 111 at 7 o'clock. So if you're in the Tampa area, stop in and see us. We'll be there. And let me just keep going down my list then. Will you be able to take the Nomad on a cruise or airline like the Nemo?
Yep. So there is a little bit of a difference in the Nemo and the Nomad battery classification, I guess. With Nemo, the battery is 72 watt hours, and so it falls below the 100 watt hour limit. And under that limit, you can bring as many spare batteries on carry-on luggage as you want. Depending on airlines, they can always change the rules, I guess. But then Nomad's battery is 144 watt hours. And so it falls between the 100 to 160 watt hour classification, where you're limited to 3 batteries. Those still go on carry-on, but it is still travel friendly. So you can bring it on an airplane. As far as cruises, I believe those are mostly the same. But I think it may change from cruise to cruise. I actually need to freshen up. Maybe if anybody, I know people have brought Nemo on their cruises. If anybody in the chat has done it, maybe give us your advice.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've done that, just type in and someone will hand it to me, either to Jeff or myself. Okay, let me keep going down my questions here. Are there more commercial uses for the Nomad than the Nemo?
I guess more commercial. I mean, I guess most likely, considering that the depth range is increased, but I think a big commercial use for Nemo is for pool inspection and repair. And this is something that we've had quite a few people tell us that it's just perfect for it. We have had a few people say that they work on 12-foot pools, and so Nemo's just almost there, but not quite. But like when you think about you're driving around to swimming pools or and doing repairs, why lug around a scuba tank that you got to go fill when you can just bring a few spare batteries and have enough dive time for your entire workday? So that's a huge one for Nemo. Also, hull cleaning. Nemo's great for smaller boats, but then as you go into some of the larger boats with a deeper draft or a wider beam where 10 feet of hose just isn't enough, I think Nomad will open up that market a lot. But with Nemo, we were surprised to see all of the different uses. So I'm expecting the same thing is going to happen with Nomad. We have our own uses for it. I love just diving off the beach in Fort Lauderdale or getting down to the Keys. I'm starting to get more into diving for megalodon teeth over in like Venice and stuff. I mean, that's a lot of fun. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see
other uses for that same product.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always amazed when people call me up and say, "Hey, I want to get the Nemo. I'm a detectorist, but I want to use it to clean the hull of my boat."
Yeah.
So I'm just amazed by that, the different uses for the product. So that'll be exciting. So Jeff, anytime you have to, just butt in, okay, buddy?
I will.
All righty. What is have you set the retail price for the Nomad?
Yes, so the base retail price is $18.99. With the backpack is $19.99.
Just with one battery?
Just with one battery, yeah.
Okay. And are the batteries, what is the 2-battery system?
So each battery adds 350.
Okay.
So it's double the size of the Nemo battery.
Right. And they're not interchangeable then, for sure.
No. That was a goal. We wish we could have made that happen, but at 30 feet, really the power consumption, because you're dealing with increased flow and increased pressure. So it's not even just a linear relationship. It's way more power required to provide air at 30 feet than 10 feet. So beyond just capacity, we needed the extra power delivery from the battery. So yeah, but it's still nice that it's able to be a 144 watt hour battery, which is airline friendly, and still pretty small and light. The battery only weighs 3 pounds. And when you look at a scuba tank that weighs 30 pounds, it looks pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're toting a lot less stuff. Hey, are there any Treasure Talk special deals for ordering a Nomad?
There are some special deals. If you pay in full right now instead of deposit, we're offering spare batteries, and that's for you as well.
Okay.
So there's some special deals, but I think I don't want to spoil anything. But
Okay.
I think you got some T-shirts or something.
Okay, somebody's asking. Oh yeah, we do have a drawing tonight for that. Somebody's asking, the material in the Nemo and the Nomad air hose, are they made from non-toxic materials?
Yeah, that's a requirement that we set on the air hose. Absolutely. And so the Nemo air hose is actually originated as a CPAP hose.
The CPAP hose?
Yeah, like a CPAP.
Or breathing
breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, breathing machine. So I guess he's asking, so when the hose soaks up Florida sun, it won't release any toxic fumes?
No, it's UV stabilized, and yeah.
Yeah, I think most plastics like that have. Okay, and someone's asking, are there any medical conditions, and I can answer this one, that you shouldn't use a Nemo or Nomad? And I guess the safest way for that is to ask your doctor, because Blake and myself and Jeff, we're not doctors here, so your doctor ought to give you an evaluation for that. And I think on your class, there is a medical form that they have to fill out.
So yeah, if you go to really any of the product pages on the website, or if you look at the user manual or the training course, also I can add a link here. We have a fitness to dive evaluation form, and this kind of comes from what they use in the scuba industry as a medical questionnaire. There are some medical conditions that you should be cleared for before diving. For example, if you've had heart surgery, or if you're on certain medications, you should see a physician and make sure you clear yourself off before going diving. So this is kind of a responsibility we put on the user to make sure that they are medically fit to dive. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when you talk to your doctor, you're going to tell him what you're going to do. You're going to explain what you're getting with the Nemo, and then he's going to want to know where to get it. So tell him to call Phil and get a Nemo.
Absolutely. That was the first thing I did, is I asked my doctor, hey, am I cleared to dive? And he said, for me, absolutely. So, and I'm not on any medications that I have to worry about. So, you want to be safe. So the perfect thing to do is to ask your doctor.
Yeah, so if you go to diveblu.com/manuals, it's inside of there, or diveblu.com/fitness-to-dive-evaluation.
Okay, and then let's go to this question here. Is the Nomad the same color as the Blue Nemo?
Yeah, it is. And well, so the actual color is the color of the purge button. That's the official color throughout. So it really does kind of look like Nemo's older brother, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, it goes deeper. It's a bigger brother. So Jeff, we are doing a drawing today, aren't we?
Yeah, we just had a question off YouTube. They wanted to know that they missed the sign up before the cutoff for the drawing for the T-shirts. They want to know where they're available, and I think you have some in the shop, don't you, Phil? Or going to get them?
I don't have though, but I'm sure are they on your website, Blake?
They are, yeah.
We'll send them over there to get the T-shirt.
They're they're becoming limited in supply. T-shirt, the materials, I guess, for the T-shirts are running a little bit behind. So
Yeah.
I think we've still got some in stock. So
Yeah,
they're very comfy. They're very comfy. I love them.
So go to Blake's website. What is that? What is your website?
Diveblu.com/shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the T-shirt there, because that's one item I probably am not going to stock. I stock my T-shirts, and I stock the blue Nemo. So get that from us and get the T-shirt from Blake. And let's see here. We got another one off of Facebook. And this is from Bob Beaver. I just tried out the Nemo for the first time. Was Spectrum OTC face mask. So awesome. Love the Nemo.
Yeah, the OTS, Ocean Technology Systems. Yeah, they make a great the Spectrum is awesome. I've used it quite a few times, and it's really an interesting experience when you use it for the first time and you realize you can breathe through your nose. You're just naturally breathing through your mouth. You're not biting down on a mouthpiece.
That's the full face mask then, right?
Yeah, and the field of view is really good. The only thing you do need to make sure you get the straps adjusted properly. So I definitely recommend doing it in shallow water or in the pool first to make sure you can adjust it properly so there's no leaking. But yeah, once you get it situated on your face, it's really comfortable. It's awesome.
Yeah, I could imagine you'd have a better view, so you can see if that shark's creeping up on you, or the alligator if you're looking at the fossils. So yeah, that's cool. All right, let me keep going down my list here.
I see one about the 2018 Nomad.
But go ahead. You answered. I didn't see that.
Yeah. The question, what happened to the original 2018 design of the Nomad instead of this one? So that's how we started the company, actually. We started the company in 2017, and it was because we said, all right, let's get together and build a prototype of kind of what we're envisioning of this user-friendly, just really integrated product. And so we needed to raise the funding to go through with this development. So we built a prototype, and we were using kind of a custom, but at the time off-the-shelf compressor. And we built around that. And we launched a Kickstarter for it. It was a really cool design. It had the hose wrapped up in a similar way to the Nomad that does today. And then it had the flotation tube stored inside, which automatically inflated. But the weight and size of the unit was much bigger. So it was, I think the prototype was around 25 pounds and maybe twice the size of the Nomad today. And that was just our prototype. So our goal was to bring that down by the time we got to production. And actually, if you look at our production goals that we posted in that Kickstarter campaign, the Nomad today that we're launching is actually past those goals. And it's lighter and smaller than what we had set those goals at. And the only way that we arrived there is by investing into our own compressor technology. And that's the Smart Reg technology. So by going that way, we've ended up with a much better product, but it has taken us a little bit longer to get there.
Awesome. Okay. And then I did have one comment that I had tell Debbie Edwards. She had won the shovel last week, and she sent me the picture, Jeff. So I'll post that later. I forgot to post that today. But
Okay.
She had won the shovel in the drawing, and she was real happy with it. And I see you've got the banner rolling. So
Yep, indeedy.
I guess that means we're drawing for a prize.
Yes, it does. It does. Blake has been nice enough to donate 2 of the blu3 T-shirts. Blake, show them what they're getting in case they didn't get registered. Those things are awesome. And we're going to give one away on YouTube and one away on Facebook. And so here's what you got to do. You see the ticker going across the bottom of the screen. When your name is called, you'll have 3 minutes to text or Facebook Messenger, either Phil or myself, with your name, please. If you're watching on Facebook, And then on YouTube, you have to text, because you can't, or you can Facebook Messenger, doesn't make any difference, with your name. Then, if you do it within the 3 minutes, then how you're going to get your prize, and this is the only way, because we're not going to accept text information and none of that kind of stuff. It's just too difficult. You email it to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. It's right below Phil's goatee. So then you email me your information. I will forward it to Blake, and he will get your prize out to you. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. So we use a random name picker to draw for the prizes. And so we are going to start first with Facebook. And the Facebook winner of the blu3 t-shirt, and I think there might have been some confusion on YouTube. Thought we were giving away a Nomad. No, it's a t-shirt. I tried to get a Nomad. Blake said
no.
He says, forget that. Get out of town. So we're going to settle for a t-shirt, you know.
Oh.
So anyway, on Facebook, Dan Graham, you got 3 minutes. Text or Facebook Messenger, Phil or myself, with your name, please. And then on the YouTube side, Chris Kelly, you got 3 minutes to text Facebook Messenger, either Phil or myself, with your name, and then follow it up with your email with your information.
Yes.
So we got 3 minutes.
All right.
So
Well,
at 7:50.
so I'll get back to the questions. And this person, Daniel Nelson's asking, how much air does the Nemo and Nomad put out in CFM? Do you know what he's talking about there?
Yeah. So CFM is cubic feet per minute. It's a measure of airflow.
Okay.
And so there's two things with hookah surface apply diving. You need enough air pressure to get the air to flow down the hose and to the diver. And then you need enough airflow to give them the ability to breathe enough air. And so for Nemo, the maximum operating pressure, and this is how our technology works, is we operate at the lowest possible pressure required for depth. This is what sets us apart from other systems. And this is what gives us the ability to make the devices so compact.
Yeah.
So for Nemo operating at 10 feet, the system would be operating at only 4.5 PSI, whereas other systems on the market would be operating around 40 to 60 PSI, which really just increases the demand and design of the compressor to something more bulky. So with Nemo operating at 4.5 PSI maximum, delivers over 2 CFM of airflow. And then, so if you're only at 5 feet, it's actually gonna be operating at 2.25 PSI, which is super low. So that's the amazing thing about the technology. And I actually see a John Colborn fan in the comments. And so John's the inventor of this technology, and we work with him very closely. We licensed the technology from John. That's the Smart Reg technology. It's patented in some places, patent pending in others. And then for Nomad going to a depth of 30 feet, that's a 13.5 PSI that's required to pump down there. And so we're operating in the 3+ CFM range at that depth, because actually as you go deeper, you breathe more air. So if I have a tank here on the surface, I breathe from it, and then I breathe at the same rate off that tank at 33 feet, I will breathe that tank out in half as much time, just because I'm at 33 feet. Everything else remaining equal, you just breathe more air. So that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is as you go deeper, you also require higher pressure to be able to get air to flow down the hose.
Right.
But then on top of that, you have to deliver more air. So I think this is, something that's overlooked with other people who may try to, build these sort of systems. It's really critical to making the user happy.
Absolutely. It's important. Hey, Jeff, Dan Graham did send me the okay.
Yeah, he sent it to me too. And Chris Kelly, you missed out. Time is up. So we're going to go on to Digging Buddy from YouTube. If you're there, you know the drill. You've got till 7:53. Digging Buddy.
Awesome. And I guess that's everything on my list.
How is the Nemo tethered to the dock?
Okay, yeah, I'm sure it's probably similar. My wife has just said she read a question off. How is the Nemo tethered to the diver? I already know the answer, but you explain that one, Blake.
Yeah, so this is a common question, and I guess it's kind of a compliment at how low profile our harness is, because when you look at pictures, it looks like the regulator is just in your mouth and you're towing the unit around with your mouth. That's not the case. You're actually, the air hose is connected into a harness, and then that harness takes the tension from the air hose and delivers it through your body. So you really hardly even feel the unit. You hardly even feel that you're wearing a harness. And then all of the air hose that comes from the harness attachment point into your mouth is slack. There's no tension on that part. So that harness is super comfy underwater, and yeah, so that's what you're pulling the unit around with.
Okay, and the Nomad and the Nemo, the Blue Nemo, use the same harness system.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I keep getting messages here, Jeff, but it's not the winner. Actually, it's my friend Joe is saying, don't forget to mention we have Fisher metal detectors going to be in the shop on Saturday for Fisher Days. And if I don't mention that, he's going to keep tinging me on my computer. And then he's going to yell at
him too
when I come to work. So, yes, if you folks are in the Tampa Bay area, make sure you stop by on Saturday, because we're going to have Fisher metal detectors, and I'm sure there are going to be some door prizes and different things. And if you need a Blue Nemo, for sure, they're going to be on the shelf there. So be sure. And, oh, yes, we're going to have some refreshments and door prizes. So stop in on Saturday, folks. And they're meeting Russ, and Jeff knows Russ's last name from Fisher Metal Detectors. He's got his Fisher hat on, too.
Barbarona.
He'll be there.
And also, I just heard today that our guest from last week, Jeremy Mann from Finding Alabama, maybe will stop by.
Okay, nice. That'll be awesome. You'll be able to meet him in person.
I think he's a Nemo diver.
He is indeed.
Yes, he is.
He is indeed.
Absolutely.
And that was interesting, because he started off with an off-brand.
Yes.
And he's had some back surgery, so he couldn't. He has his friend testing him out, and his friend tested out the off-brand, and then they did the Nemo, and he says Nemo blew it out of the water.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the off-brands you have to be worried about. They don't take the same considerations like pressure and airflow. I think what we're doing is really trying to grow this sport in a responsible manner and give really a good quality experience. And that's what we're all about, but can't say the same for off brands.
No, we can't either. So the Digging Buddy is not watching. He misses out, or she misses out, whichever one it is. So we're going on with Terry Curry off YouTube. If you're watching, you know the drill. You got 3 minutes.
Absolutely. You got 3 minutes. You got to be fast.
And if you don't get it, then we're going to take somebody else from Facebook.
Absolutely. So it looks like I went through most of my questions. Getting back to the Nomad and the Nemo, if you're new to this, the diving, or you haven't dove before, the best bet would be to do the Blue Nemo and after use that for a while before you go to the Nomad, if you've never dove before. Is that your feelings on that, Blake?
Yeah, definitely. Nemo is definitely a much better fit for beginner divers. Always starting in the pool or in shallow pool-like conditions to get your experience level up, and follow the training course. The training course is really a guide at how to get started diving, and so it tells you the different skills that you need to learn before going out for your first actual dive. And those are all meant to be done in pool or pool-like conditions. With Nemo, it's better suited for beginners because you are physically limited to 10 feet. So it does take away the depth control factor as much. But really, yeah, both products are a great way to get started.
Yeah.
Well,
And yeah, I would recommend the Blue Nemo for somebody new to it, just getting into it. And for us, metal detecting 10 feet probably most of the time is enough.
What kind of maintenance?
And oh, that is a good question. A very Tom Becker's asking, what kind of maintenance is needed on the Blue Nemo and the new one?
yeah, really, freshwater rinse, charge your batteries, and that's mostly all there is to it. There's small things you need to, make sure that there's no corrosion on your battery terminals. Make sure your O-rings aren't torn or getting sand on them, because obviously this is an outdoor product. You're going to use it. Things are going to happen. So if, there's always replacement O-rings, but it's really simple things like that. There won't be any tearing down of the compressor. Everything's built to last hundreds of dives. My maintenance schedule is freshwater rinse and inspect the O-rings and look for any corrosion. That's it.
And there's the person was asking about filters. There's no filters to replace or anything, is there?
No filters. Everything's surface air pressure, surface air.
Yeah, so nothing to worry about that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, Terry Curry is out, and so we move on to the last one. And I know this person is here. Cindy Mack, you got a T-shirt. You know the drill.
Yes. Russ they bought a Blue Nemo from me. Yes, they did. And Russ just had surgery a little while ago, so hopefully he's all healed up and get out there and use it.
So, all right, Cindy, you know the drill. Don't leave me hanging, girl.
Love that these T-shirts are also made from recycled water bottles. So they're finding a good home for single-use plastic, which is something really terrible for our oceans. So anybody who buys a T-shirt, you're helping find a home for single-use plastics.
Right, helping clean the oceans. And that's a good thing. That's what metal detecting, what we're doing most of the time is cleaning up junk, So
yeah,
it might be rusty iron and stuff like that, but we're digging junk. Did you get a winner, Jeff?
We did. Cindy Mack in the house.
Awesome. So we gave away 2 T-shirts tonight. Awesome.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And somebody mentioned this, and I was going to say it too. You go there and buy one of Blake's T-shirts because you didn't win one. You got to have one, and you're saving some turbans too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did have one other question, Blake. We're running out of time here, but you said you mentioned the O-rings on it. So is that something that I guess they would have to buy as a replacement?
Yeah, and it's really not something you should expect to have to replace. But if you are going to be going on vacation or something, it would be a bummer to not have the right O-ring if you lost it or scraped it up. So we do support that. We have extras that you can buy right on our website shop. Okay. We can also set you up with some spare parts like that, so that your customers can always have access through you as well.
Oh, okay, very cool. And then I saw on your website you also sell for the air hose a cover that goes over it. Is that
that's for certain people who are using it for hole cleaning, or some of those fossil hunters. I wouldn't recommend this, but they get kind of into the trees. If you're going to be around anything that might puncture the air hose, that protective sleeve will give it an extra layer of protection. So it's not really necessary for ordinary use, though.
Should you move it to you?
Okay, and then one final question, because I think we're getting close. Should you lubricate the O-rings, or do they come pre-lubricated?
Yeah, they come lubricated, but if you feel them sticky or dry, as you're putting it into the intake snorkel, O-ring lube is always good, but shouldn't really be necessary. I've dove my unit quite a lot without having to reapply. So Yeah. Lots of good questions tonight. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already.
I know, doesn't it time fly? Well, let me say this because I know we're going to get shut off here. Jeff's going to hit the off button. But thank you, Blake, for coming on and talking about your fine products made here in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me with the questions. Keep me straight, keep me going on the right track. And thank you, Jeff, for all you do, buddy.
Well, thank you. And Blake, you know, you were July 4th, you were on our Great American Companies.
Yes,
you were on that show too. So we want to thank you very much for donating the 2 T-shirts. I'll get the information to you. Hopefully you got some big ones because Dan Graham, well, he's a big boy. And, you know, we want to thank you, and we're going to have you back on later after the Nomad comes out. And, you know, we'll get some more stuff going on. But Phil, thank you. Thank you, Jocelyn.
And let me,
oh, there's the boy. There's the boy.
Jeff, don't hang up yet. Let me just remind folks so Joe doesn't get on me tomorrow. Come see us this Saturday at the shop because we're going to have Fisher Metal Detector Days. And Jeff's going to be down this way too. So it's going to be a good time. We'll have the Treasure Talk crew.
Yep, and I'm bringing a whole big box full of swag, so you got to stop by. And I don't know, Phil, you saw the invitation on the page. I don't know, there's going to be some kind of refreshments or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we can't have a whole lot because of COVID. I don't want to be doing, but we're going to have some snacks and some water and some sodas or refreshments, some type of something.
We have little mini chocolate bars. It's like trick or treat, you know.
Trick or treat. There you go.
That's right. So with that being said, Blake, we want to thank you once again.
Absolutely.
And we'll be selling some Nemos and Nomads for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for having me on. It was a lot of fun. And
all
thanks
right,
to everybody for awesome questions and support.
All right.
It's exciting to see everybody's videos and stuff. So
yes, it is. I put one on my website. So
wants to know the time Saturday.
Oh, it's the Saturday. It starts at 10:30 and probably lasts till 3:30 or till I get real tired.
Well, that'll be about 10:45. We'll carry it through. Don't worry. We'll take care of it.
All right.
Be in charge.
Thank you, my friend.
All righty. We'll see everybody later. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Dig deeper. We'll see you guys. Good night.
Night night.